I'm the best ever. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Yo, bounce guy, go off.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Wilder's in a world of trouble, closing seconds. Can he weather the storm here in the third round?
And of all the superlative.
Big right hook, lands flush for Cambosos, and that knocks down teofimo Lopez. We have ourselves a fight.
Khabib Nurmagomedov gets a triangle choke from up top. Gaethje's out, and the fight is over. The triangle choke for Khabib Nurmagomedov.
And Porter gets knocked down. He gets knocked down again. 10th round TKO win. Left uppercut, and that knocks out Leo. It appears he's out cold. The fight is over. It was a counter left uppercut, and just like that, what a left uppercut. I did not see that coming, ladies and gentlemen. I will have to admit, what a fight.
Nice celebration for a 3K video. I don't know, man. To hit 3,000 subscribers
check.
like
Right hook to the body for Campbell. Left hook to the body for Garcia. And that knocked down Campbell. It was a left hook to the body. Campbell on the ground. The count is on. Can he make his way up? It appears he can't get up. Campbell on the ground. Trying to stand up. And the fight is over. Ryan Garcia with a 7th round knockdown. What a performance. Guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, we're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. We're trying to do record numbers today. Ryan Garcia tearing up and crying. What a performance for Ryan Garcia. Check. 1, 2. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. First off, would like to say, hope my chair wasn't sliding. First off, would like to say happy Father's Day, happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I mean, most of my viewers are, between the 20 to 35 to 40 range, maybe even a little bit more north, maybe like 20 to 45. Got a few under 18, got a few over 45, a few over 50. I know one over 60. So a wide range of men. A wide range of men that are fathers, that take care of their kids, that have given me advice throughout the years, that we've been doing this for a while. We've been growing. So just want to say thank you. Want to say happy Father's Day. I hope you guys had a good time spending time with your children, with your loved ones, with your wife. If you're still with her, with your baby mama, whatever it's called, or whatever you have. But thank you guys for being here. On the menu today, there's quite a bit to talk about in fight news. A couple fights happened this past weekend. We saw Cannonier land a record in his division for the most significant strikes. Landed Vettori. I saw MMA Guru make a video of that. That guy should be studied. Speaking of Vettori, because he has a cement head. He got hit 1,000 times and still was able to carry out throughout the fight. But there's a couple other topics that I find quite interesting for this weekend that I want to talk about, that I think you guys will be interested in. And that's Jon Jones facing off Francis Ngannou. That's Canelo, whether he's ducking Benavidez, and Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, which is, I feel like it's around the corner, man. It's close. It's close. I feel like that happens at least once every time I'm on stream, where I have to sneeze pretty badly. But let me bring this up as well too. Francis Ngannou being in the stands at the PFL event with Jon Jones, and Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. So there's plenty to talk about. There's plenty to discuss. Thank you for being here. Let's start off with that. Because I found it quite interesting to play hypotheticals, to play what ifs. It sucks because are we ever going to get this fight? there's a good chance that we don't. There's a good chance that we never get Francis Ngannou versus John Jones. And that sucks, right? Because who is the baddest man on the planet? You see the smirk on John Jones' face saying, listen, I've been the king of the fight world, of MMA, since I started, since I've arrived on the scene. And Francis Ngannou had a great comeback to that. So let's play it in a second to see what you guys have to say. Beta in the building. The first one here says that black and made Pioneer look superb. And that fight probably took years from him. When is his chin going to give? Do you think we'll ever see Vettori knocked out cold? Because that might have been the equivalent to Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. Gaethje stopped Ferguson by TKO where the ref had to stop it. But that was really, you know, Tony Ferguson was still standing. But the damage that he took, I think, is one of the best examples of that guy took so much punishment, and maybe he didn't show it there right then and there, but he was never the same after that. Maybe Vettori's the same thing, or just because Vettori's a little bit younger, he still becomes like a Max Holloway. I just think, Beta, I've seen other streamers talk about this, but me and you have talked about this before, and others. I really think he met a ceiling. Vettori, don't mean to sound like a hater, but he's met a ceiling where he's not. That looks like Tracy McGrady right here, by the way. If you guys can see from there. I don't know if you guys are basketball fans, but holy crap. Is that Tracy? Because it looks just like him. We've said this over and over. Had the sniffles this whole past weekend. Man, I can't wait to talk about Canelo and Benavidez, but Vettori, that might be the fight where Tony Ferguson was never the same. Vettori might not be. But I found this quite interesting where they smile at each other. Hopefully we don't get banned for playing a little bit of this, but we'll be pausing it in and out and see what they had to say and just play a couple hypotheticals this early Monday morning. By the way, Beta, happy Father's Day to you and to every fighter and father out there. Let's get it. Since the day I started this, I've been the king. So Francis Ngannou brings up, is not McGrady. For Francis Ngannou, he says not a heavyweight. You see the response of John Jones.
We'll see. We could have solved, but you left.
So this is John Jones, and I feel like I always talk about Dana White. Almost feel bad about it. Is John Jones, does he really believe that, or is he just playing the heel? Does he really believe that Francis Ngannou left because John Jones was coming back? Or does he understand? I've really been thinking about this like this whole week. Does John Jones understand that Francis Ngannou left because he did what was best for his career? Or does he truly believe, is he narcissistic enough? And I almost feel you have to be somewhat narcissistic to make it as far as he has. Or does he truly believe, listen, Francis Ngannou left because I'm back, because I'm in the heavyweight division. He saw what I did to Cyril Gane. This could really be, I don't believe this, but this could really be what goes on in John Jones' head. He saw what I did to Cyril Gane and he said, I'm getting out of here. I'm finding something better for me because I don't want to fight John Jones and lose all the steam. I beat Cyril Gane in a fashion that Francis Ngannou wasn't able to. They went a full 5 rounds. I finished him in like less than 2 minutes. So he left. His only way to win is if his chin could hold up against Pereira, if he somehow got, ironically enough, Beta, Vettori might stylistically, and it sounds like blasphemy, but Vettori might stylistically be a problem for Pereira if he could just withhold the punches and keep walking forward. Because Pereira has been hurt before. So has Cannonier, though. So that might not be the best example for Vettori.
Oh, no, you sit back for 2 years.
Great comeback by Francis Ngannou. Look at the confusion in John Jones' face. And I wanted to bring this up. I saw this at 3 in the morning on Saturday. I saw it after the PFL event when I woke up. John Jones' face says it all. Francis Ngannou says, because John Jones says, I'm the king of the UFC ever since I stepped on the scene. What does Francis Ngannou say? Listen, I didn't leave because of you. You sat out for 3 years. Because John Jones says we could have solved it, but you left.
Oh no, you sit back for 3 years.
You sit back for 3 years. So quick to the counter punch, man. And it just makes me think of, imagine the trash talking, the press conferences, the back and forth that they would have had if they were ever able to fight each other. Of who really is the baddest baddest man on the planet. Who fumbled the bag? Is it Francis Ngannou? This is just a combo that I want to bring up. Did Francis Ngannou fumble the bag because that's a narrative that's given because he left? Did John Jones fumble the bag by taking so long to fight Francis Ngannou, where there was a point where Dana White said that John Jones was scared of Francis Ngannou? Or is it a mixture of the two? Or is it option number C? Did the UFC really fumble the bag by allowing Francis Ngannou to slip away from their fingers? Granted, be honest, Ngannou brought up stipulations that I can't see UFC would have ever met, but it was still interesting. So which one is it, guys? Who fumbled the bag? Francis Ngannou, John Jones, or the UFC themselves? Saludos, Jesus. Happy Father's Day to you, my guy. Good morning, million followers that support our guy. What's up, Wilson? Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you for always showing support. Thank you for having the red glove next to your name. You see, Beta is the paper champ in the chat with the gold glove and the title next to his name. Thank you for being a member for so long, Beta. Thank you for being a member, Wilson. Thank you for the ongoing support, ladies and gentlemen. So who fumbled the bag? Francis Ngannou, John Jones, or the UFC? But let's see what they had to say.
I had to get to the size to kick your ass.
That was a decent answer.
I had to get to a good enough size to kick your ass.
I had to get to a good enough size to kick your ass.
Yes. I took you 3 years. 3 years to long time.
I took a good 3 years. Let's skip over a little bit.
Have you been wrestling?
All we could wonder is what if John Jones says, have you been wrestling? Maybe Francis Ngannou is worried about other things like fighting Deontay Wilder, which I'll talk about in a little bit. There's a guy from MMA fighting right here that's always there. I forget his name. But there he goes, always around. Let's skip over a little.
That's real. That's real.
At the end of the day, they shake hands. And he says that's real. Who knows what they said behind the scenes? I wonder how the UFC feels about John Jones actually being there. I wonder if they feel some type of way deep down inside as well too, because you don't hear them saying much about it besides Dana White hating on the PFL and signing Ngannou, saying I don't know how they could give him that much money, this and that. But they shake hands.
I will always be down to fight you.
I will always be down to fight you, says Francis Ngannou. John Jones has some of the funniest facial expressions. I wish I could zoom in sometimes. Look at his face. He always has some of the funniest expressions to anything that Francis Ngannou says. He might be under the influence, by the way, too. Who knows with John Jones? But I want you, says Francis Ngannou.
If you kick my ass, Francis, you're gonna have to learn how to wrestle. I'm working on it.
It's hard to hear a little bit. John Jones is somewhat taking the conversation somewhere else where he's saying, well, have you done jiu-jitsu? Have you done boxing? Have you trained your wrestling? As if to say, you're not better than me in all these areas. Francis Ngannou has that John Jones doesn't have, or Cyril Gane showed is a power behind the hands, that one-punch knockout. You saw what he did to Overeem. You saw what he did to Stipe. Francis Ngannou, he used some wrestling against Cyril Gane, where Cyril Gane was very hesitant to strike with him. So Francis Ngannou has showed improvement, but I just wanted to bring this up before talking about some other topics like Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez, which we're about to get to next. And we'll talk about Spence and Crawford in a second. Beta says, bro, thank you. It's been a stressful morning and Father's Day. Why so if you don't mind sharing? You can do so if you want. It's been a hell of a weekend for me as well, man. It felt like the last 72 hours went by in 10 hours. It's just been crazy, man. I had a good time. I can't lie. I had a good time. The wifey gave me some great surprises as far as like she got me this hat. She made some artwork with the daughter. So it's been good. But and there's more that I want to talk about than just fighting with you guys. So hopefully we could do so in a little bit. But I've realized some things on YouTube that we're about to take it to the next step. Wilson says, definitely UFC dropped the ball, says Wilson. I thought Tyson Fury was going to face Jones. It's been rumored, Jesus. It's been rumored. Dana White, after saying, I don't make gimmick fights, that's not what we do over here. Over here, the best fight the best. And I guess he's speaking of his rankings, right? Number 1 fights number 2, number 3 fights number 4, so forth. He says he doesn't make gimmick fights, but then he also says he's down to make Fury versus John Jones. So as far as fight sports, we're all over the place. Jesus M, who knows what can happen? I have a funny feeling, and I played this last week, and I'll play it one more time because I do still believe it's still relevant. I have it right here. When it comes to the PFL, you see, and they're doing a good job, maybe because you see Francis Ngannou get a face-off with John Jones, so still getting publicity, staying relevant. If you're not seen, if you're not heard, people forget about you. You still see Francis Ngannou in the limelight. You also see Deontay Wilder talking about Francis Ngannou, and we talked about this last week, but I'll bring it up again.
Got the reach advantage on a lot of these guys. When can we see Deontay Wilder maybe making a crossover in mixed martial arts?
When can we see Deontay Wilder making a crossover? And I was honestly, when I heard this the first time, I was surprised at what Deontay Wilder had to say. Thank you so much, Wilson, for saying Happy Father's Day. If you're following yourself, Happy Father's Day to you as well.
I mean, that's a good question. I've thought about this many times.
I thought about this many of times.
With Ngannou,
with Ngannou. So he mentioned Ngannou. But what threw me a curveball, and I believe Wilder, is what he says in a second.
Us talking about getting together. I even offered, you always see the MMA guys crossing over, but you never see the fighters, the boxers crossing over. So I said, I wanted to make it more interesting for the fans. And
Credit to Deontay Wilder, because he says you always see them come over here. You never see us being the boxers go to MMA. We've seen Clarissa Shields do it, and a few others, but not many. But usually it's the other way around. Usually it's MMA boxers going into MMA fighters going into boxing. Nate Diaz as a recent, Ben Askren as well too. Woodley against Jake Paul. A lot of MMA fighters going to boxing, but not the other way around.
Just the whole comeback family as in a whole, I said, well, how about you come to my backyard, and after we handle business, I can come to yours and cross over.
If you are not a Deontay Wilder fan, this is not a stream to kind of promote Deontay Wilder, but you got to give him credit. Listen, I almost want to call this Hypothetical Mondays because we talked about the hypothetical if Francis Ngannou and John Jones actually do fight. Imagine Deontay Wilder fighting in a boxing match. We alluded to this a little bit last week, but I just want to reiterate and maybe even take it a step further, which we didn't talk about. We talked about it a little bit. And my question to you guys is, we'll love to hear some thoughts and we'll have a back and forth. Also as well too, I didn't open, but you can call in and share your thoughts at 267-545-8096. I forgot to mention that earlier. Let's play around with another hypothetical real quick. And that is, we talked about it last week, but a little bit more we can right now, is how much, and simply put, does it do well if Deontay Wilder were to fight Francis Ngannou in a boxing match? What number of pay-per-views? If I were to say 300,000, would you guys say yes or no? Does the undercard depend on whether how many it sells or them just doing that? How much, guys, does it sell? We'd love to hear your thoughts. 267-545-8096. You guys can share your thoughts on that, but we'd love to hear some thoughts. I'm going to say 300,000 pay-per-views. Does it do that much or no? Or shy of that? Can you say what are they saying? Is it a little bit too low? I could try to see if I could. Let me see if I could put the volume up. Maybe it's too low. Got it. I raised it up a little bit. It should be better now. Should be better now. Give me 1 second. It should be better now.
Need some fresh heavyweight talent. You got the.
I'm sorry you couldn't hear
a lot of these guys
earlier.
When can we see Deontay Wilder?
What's up, Merchant? Welcome to the stream, my guy. Thank you for always coming through. I
mean, that's a good question. I've thought about this many times. Even with Ngannou,
the first person he mentions is Francis Ngannou. I thought about this many times about crossing over, having an MMA versus boxing fight.
I even offer, you always see the MMA guy.
And I wonder how truthful that is do we take his word for it or do we not? He said, I even offered Francis Ngannou, say, hey, I go over to you or you come over to me, come to my backyard, we settle a boxing match, and I think that's the order to go too. Let's settle a boxing match, and then after that, I'll fight in MMA. I don't know how honest and how transparent he's being, but he did say that. 300,000 is a number I'm giving. Do we do better than that or not? Wilson says undercards do matter. Okay, maybe at least one decent co-main at least.
But you never see the fighters, the boxers crossing over. So I said, you know, I wanted to make it more interesting for the fans and just the whole comeback family as in a whole, you know. I said, well, how about you come to my backyard and after...
And this is a part I want to get to. We'll talk about Errol Spence in a second.
We handle business. I can come to yours and cross over.
So let's handle business in boxing. Then I'll come over to yours. Why not do it in that fashion?
Really meant it, you know. So things are still up in the air, but you know, I have seen myself.
Things are still up in the air, but I still have seen myself
on this side of the field. You know,
he's curious.
People will be very impressed of what I can do and my abilities.
He says people are impressed, and not only that, I was also curious about too. Really think about the heavyweight fighters that are out there right now, right? Think about the available fighters in the heavyweight division. Who else sells better than Deontay Wilder versus Francis Ngannou? We take a couple of names that we can look at. Tyson Fury, they already fought 3 times. Not gonna happen again, right? Alexander Usyk, for some reason, Deontay Wilder saying I can't get that fight to happen. Anthony Joshua is a good one. If Deontay Wilder were to fight him, I would like that fight. But it seems like Joshua might be fighting Fury. Andy Ruiz is another good one. Besides those names, there's nobody else out there that I like for Wilder. Dillian White, Dubois, Ortiz, Freddie beat Parker, Chisora, Zheli Zhang, who just had an upset as a recent, Joe Joyce, Kubrat Pulev. There's nobody really out there that really gets me to go, you know what? I'm excited to see that fight. No one really out there. Let's catch up. Brakes went out 6 hours away from the house. Oh my, had to race the clock to get the truck looked at. Oh my God. 40 miles with no brakes and 40 minutes to get to them. Holy crap. Did you hit anything? Did anything happen? Are you guys safe? Jesus, man, you had a hell of a weekend. Oh my God. Hope you're good, man. I mean, listen, car troubles. I had randomly, I had a chip problem on my knee. I have a Nissan Juke, and it's going to cost me $650. I just got the invoice. I just paid that, but now they're also got to check my fuel injectors. So at the end of the day, I might be looking at, I don't know, 1,500, maybe 1,300. I'm hoping less, but just to, you know, play it safe, I'm thinking it's going to be about 1,500. So car troubles are the worst. Wilder and Ngannou 300,000. I'm going to say, if you guys say north of that or south of that, let me know. Let's move on to another topic real quick because time goes by pretty quickly here, guys. Thank you for being here. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, #1 commentary channel on YouTube. Let's see how you guys voted. Canelo, ducking Benavidez, 86% say yes, 14% say no. I respect it. Let's also move on. I won't be fighting Canelo next. This is Badu Jack. This is a rumor that we were supposed to see Canelo versus Jack, where nobody really wanted this fight. Nobody was saying, listen, we want to see Canelo and Badu. Nobody was saying we want to see Canelo and really anyone else. The only other name that may have been somewhat interesting was the Charlo fight. But Charlo's been out of the ring for a little north of 2 years. Do we really want to see any kind of ring rust against the Mexican star in Canelo Alvarez? No. The fight that everyone wants to see, and people are, you know, beating a dead horse by repeating the same sentiments, but it's something that I hope that we can demand. And this is going to be my next short that I make. The people want David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. There's no other fight that makes sense as much as that fight. David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez both beat Caleb Plant. Canelo even beat him earlier than that, but Benavidez had such a strong showing in his last fight. And he's running out of options. Bivol doesn't seem to want to fight Canelo because Canelo wants all these stipulations and these clauses. He doesn't want it. Now Badu Jack says, I won't be fighting Canelo next. And this is a tweet right here. They said the weight difference is too much. And they wanted to drain him as well too, which he alludes to. They wanted to drain the old man and fight me 20 pounds under the cruiserweight limit for the title with the crying face. Plus a rehydration clause. This guy... People defend, the people that love Canelo defend him by saying, look, he's going after legacy. I know people want to see the Benavidez fight, but I'm not mad at him if he wants to fight Jack for the titles because he's going after legacy, he's going after the titles. But at least make it somewhat fair. They wanted Jack to fight 20 pounds under the cruiserweight limit for the title, crying face, plus a rehydration clause. And I never thought I would be at the place where I'm almost giving more credit to Ryan Garcia for taking all the clauses and kind of saying, Canelo, at least Ryan Garcia kind of risked it. You're not. You don't want to fight David Benavidez. It seems like a pretty obvious, pretty clear duck is what it seems like to me. Plus a rehydration clause. Canelo. And this is a beautiful thing. When fighters have social media and are starting to use it, you see Errol Spence talking about the sanctioning bodies taking so much money, taking 3%, which is like a few $100,000. Especially if a fighter's making like 50 million, 40 million, 20 million, whatever the case may be. Even Jack says, Canelo, let's give the fans what they want to see and fight David Benavidez. Credit to Jack being sort of the bad guy for the benefit of the boxing fans.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. You need people.
Credit to Jack. And the beautiful thing is that one of my favorite things to do is look at some comments. And look at the first comment with 161 likes. It says, Canelo will be most likely fighting. Trust me, I don't want this fight either. And I know Berlanga's Puerto Rican. Root for my countrymen, right? My fellow countrymen. But the guy says Canelo will be most likely fighting Edgar Berlanga next with the cherry pick emote.
Yo, shout out to Caesar.
Nobody wants to see that fight. Currently walking from our hotel back to Firestone. Man, I almost wish I could order you an Uber, man. Jesus. Had we not drove those last 40 miles, we would have been stuck in the middle of... Damn, bro. Holy crap, bit. I hope you're safe. Hit me up if anything, man, on Instagram. If I could help in any way, please let me know. I'm willing to do so. So, damn. And another comment here says, wow, sounds like Canelo doesn't want to take the risk of fighting someone who's not past their prime. You gotta love it. That's a beautiful thing about fans when they open up. Maybe he's more interested in fighting for the money than for the love of the sport. Even though rumors are Benavidez offered him somewhat near 50 million. But hey, at least you got a chance to dodge the bullet there. What I wanted to tell Canelo Alvarez, and I'll make it short out of this after this stream. In this year only, just this single year, we've gotten Haney versus Lomachenko. We've gotten Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. I'm not saying that was the most competitive fight. I'm saying that's what the fans wanted, and that's what the fans were given. Maybe not so much for the diehard fans, but for the majority of the fans in general. Fighters and fans wanted to see, listen, Ryan Garcia has all this hype. He's young. He's at his youngest and maybe at his best, so to speak. Obviously, he's not. And he's going into the prime of his career, and he's going to do good with Derrick James. But anyways, he's young. We weren't able to see Crawford and Spence when they were really young. But we got Haney versus Lomachenko. Great fight. We've gotten Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. And we're getting next month Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. Great 3 fights. Maybe you guys can sway me differently, but the way you cap off this year, and make it one of the most memorable years of boxing is if we also get Canelo Benavidez. But it's needed. We're already in a memorable year. This year, 2023, has been better than most years, I will say. But we'll like hit it out the park. We need that Benavidez versus Canelo fight, man. I can't think of a better fight for Canelo. We didn't even want the Ryder fight, right? The John Ryder fight. But we want this fight. We want Benavidez versus Canelo. Now, what can we do? What can we do to kind of sway Canelo in order to make that fight happen? What can be done, so to speak? Because it's a very much needed fight, and that will make this year one of the most memorable years of all time. We're getting Spence versus Crawford. Would love to see that fight happen next. Yo, Hito in the building. What's up, Hito? Happy Father's Day. Happy belated, man. Hope you were able to spend some time with your children and the wifey and all that. And I hope you had a great time, man. Thank you for being here. One of my biggest supporters. What's up, my guy? Benavidez is the only fight Canelo needs to make. Okay, what do fans... I almost sound like a revolutionary, but what do fans need to do to keep imposing their will? We got Garcia versus Tank, and I feel a lot of that was because the fans wanted to make it happen. Yes, Garcia agreed to some stipulations that maybe he shouldn't have, but at the end of the day, we got one of the fights that we wanted. We're getting Crawford versus Spence. Took a long time. Credit to Spence. Credit to Crawford. Took longer than it should have, but we're at least getting it for all the titles, right? Talk about the titles in a bit. And we got Haney versus Lomachenko. I think one of the most important things to do now is Canelo needs to feel the pressure. And granted, he has done incredible things in his career. He has went up and down divisions to try to attain titles. He tried it against Bivol and failed, but I give him credit for trying to do so. I think it was Beta that called it like he's going to struggle with that style. I think it was Von Blue as well too. And sure enough, he did, and he lost. But he beat Caleb Plant and he's been sort of, you know, he beat Triple G. He's been on the top of the division. The face of boxing sells the most, the biggest star. At the end of the day, you're only as good as your last fight. And in boxing and in sports and in entertainment sports, it's all about what have you done for me lately? And what Canelo has done for me lately, as far as his last fight, was a fight against John Ryder that nobody wanted, and he didn't even look that great. He didn't even look that great. Against Billy Joe Saunders, he looked a little bit dominant. Caleb Plant, he just kind of round after round getting closer, landing big shots until he finally was able to put him away. Lost to Dmitry Bivol, then he beat Gennady, but it was an old Gennady Golovkin, then he beats John Ryder. At the end of the day, we shouldn't accept nothing other than Benavidez versus Canelo. What can fans do to make that fight happen? We should not thank boxing for making fights that should happen. Interesting, says Jesus. Maybe you're right. That's something to think about. I will tell you why I feel I should say thank you. And then you tell me if you disagree or not. The reason why I think we should be grateful is not necessarily to the promotions. I feel like fighters are having more of a say on what they want. Because if it were up to the promotions and negotiations, we probably never would have got Haney Lomachenko. I think they both wanted that fight to happen, and that's why I did. Haney really wanted Kambosos, and in order to get that fight, he had to go to Kambosos' backyard. Spence and Crawford really wanted to fight each other, and I think it took Crawford to get away from Top Rank to make it happen. So when I say I'm thanking boxing, it's mostly thanking the fighters for making the fight happen that we want. They have a huge input now more than they did decades ago. But now when we get to Canelo Alvarez, I'm not feeling very thankful. I'm not feeling very grateful. And I like Canelo a lot. I like his team. I like Eddie Reynoso, Oscar Valdez, and their camp. But it's just weird that when the name Benavidez comes up, all I hear is crickets. I want to see Benavidez Canelo, especially after all the fights that we had this year. So that's why I say, Jesus, that we need to be thankful. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts. You can call in at 267-545-8096. I heard there's rumors of Teofimo Lopez versus Ryan Garcia. If I'm Teofimo Lopez, I'm taking that. Ryan Garcia is still learning. Teofimo Lopez, it's weird that you hear rumors of that because Teofimo Lopez has been adamant that he's retiring. He has been adamant that he's getting out of here. Remember us playing this video the other day.
Kind of feisty. It took a long time for them to come up with the scorecards. They were trying to figure it out. And
he said they were taking a long time to come out with the scorecards, and fair enough to him.
I was like, listen, man, y'all.
He almost got robbed. If he didn't win the 12th round, he would have had two other judges having a draw. The judges have been disgusting as of late.
Ain't no fucking way you can steal it. I mean, but huh?
And you say Ryan Garcia versus Teofimo Lopez, but he did
it's
say
only
this.
Get better, you know. That's what it's all. Retirement, man. I'm kind of tired. But I got. Yeah, man. I need to take a break.
I need to take a break, he says. So retire, then break.
I'm tired of everybody bullying me. I'm young. I'm a kid too at heart. And yeah, I think y'all need to go after the Devin Haney's, Shakurs, and Tyson Furies and all that.
He sounds, listen, I've been a Teofimo hater. I'm not going to lie. I've been a Teofimo hater. But he does sound frustrated with the sport, and I get it. He's been bashing the media. Credit to him, or a huge credit to that is him actually saying dumb things in the media. But at the end of the day, he seems tired of the sport and the politics. Maybe Top Rank not giving him his just due for whatever that's worth. I think that would be lit. I would love that. It's the only fight at 168 we want for the argument of Canelo's dominance. What happens if we get something else? If we get Charlo, maybe I allow him to get away with it. I like Charlo. Is he relatively known to the casual fan? Maybe not, and that's the problem. Burn down Mauricio's office. The whole Suleiman thing and boxing, it's just, and the sanctioning bodies is just absolutely annoying. And speaking of him, we'll get to that in a second. He won't retire for the Ryan bag. He says he wants 9 figures. I don't think he's going to get that, but I think he could potentially get 8 figures. A little 10 million, 15 million. He only got 1 million his last fight, where if I got 1 million, I'll be happy. But for where he's at in his career and what he's accomplished, I can understand why he's a little bit frustrated when the company's making, 50 to 100 million and you're making 1 and you're the one fighting, right? So I get it. He won't retire for the Ryan bag. At the chase. What's that, Beta? I'm sorry, I didn't get that. But speaking of Mauricio Suleiman and boxing in general, my man Errol Spence and Hito, can I give you your flowers right now real quick? I have to give you your flowers right now real quick. Hito, let me show you something. Let me show you something that's important. Give me 1 second. I'm about to pull it up. I'm going to give you your flowers right now because it wasn't only you. It wasn't only you, but you have been telling me to do so. Let me give you your flowers, all right? You deserve it. I hate to bring it up, but my shorts, right? Besides this one that got 90 views, right? 4.2K, 1.5K, 4.2K. We're getting a lot of views on these shorts. Hito, you've been saying focus on that, focus on that, focus on that. You've been right. You hit me up about it. Another friend hit me up about it. Another member of the stream hit me up about it. Like, yo, your shorts are coming up a lot. TikTok and blah, blah, blah. Focus on those things. We're right. I'll give you your flowers today. But you were right. So I'm going to be focusing on that a lot more. And let's keep running up the numbers. Because on TikTok, we went from 35 to 2,300 followers in a matter of what? Month and a half, 2 months? The Teofimo Canelo debacles are all directly related to the will bring cash belts. Thank you so much. Oh, the Shiesty. Right. Oh, right. Not Shiesty. They've been Shiesty. Oh, wait, let me see. Yeah, bro. I love the way he pronounces that, man. It's something that deserves
I knew they were gonna do something kind of chicey.
Good.
I knew they were gonna do something kind of chicey. It took a long time
That's
for them
great.
to come up with a score. I knew they were gonna do something kind of chicey. It took a long time for them to come up with the scorecards. They were trying to figure it out, and I told everybody, I was
I'm pretty sure.
like, listen, man, y'all better not steal it. There ain't no fucking way you can steal it. I mean,
Maybe I'm wrong.
Man, it's only get better, you know, man. I tell me I'm not the double.
He said something else. I don't remember what it was, but God bless Teofimo Lopez, man, the legend. Thank you for helping me transition. Thank you so much for helping me transition. Beta. Speaking of the Will Bring Cash belts, I love that. But instead of saying WBC,
to the organizations.
Thank you so much. Because we got to get to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. The conversation right now might be Errol Spence might have to win by knockout now. He might not have another option.
I don't mean no disrespect on Henry, but that's.
He might not have another option. Thank you to himself.
Hey, turn my mic back on.
Oh, the Chinese, bro, please, bro. Okay, that's a great point. We might have to do that, Beta.
Turn my mic back.
And let's get to the meat and potatoes of some boxing thing. We're the conspiracy theorists of boxing, but we're actually right? Just like many other things we've been right about before. But let's see.
We gotta know where. I mean,
that's a little bit loud for you guys' ears.
We getting 3% to these organizations. I mean, we got.
Did Errol Spence shoot himself in the foot?
I know where this money going to. I mean, a lot of times
You gotta know where this money is going to. What made Spence before the fight say these things? Bold, man, bold. But I mean, when you fly out of a Ferrari and you're still human and you're still fighting at the top of the division, it makes sense.
Man, you got Canelo
and I can't believe the comments that I've read on these comments that Errol Spence shared. People really thought that Spence was hating on Canelo and Anthony Joshua. If you read the comments on Instagram, where I think ESPN Boxing made a video on this, they said, "Why is he looking at the pockets of Canelo and Joshua?" No, dummies. He's defending the fighters and saying if they're making $50 million, they're giving away 3%. That's a lot. But anyways,
and Joshua and all these
Canelo and Joshua
guys, making $50 million.
Reason people thought that he was hating. 7-10 for him on every card unless he gets him out of there. God. I believe he is Jesus M. Can someone confirm that? I'm not gonna lie and say I know, but I think Teofimo is. He might still be under Top Rank. Actually, he might still be under contract with Top Rank. I don't think so though. Teofimo Lopez. Let's see, Teofimo Lopez signed to. He says he's retiring. Signs new deal with Top Rank through 2023. Expected to have. That was back in 2021. So, let's see. Lopez signed with Top Rank in October 2016. He still might be under contract with them. I believe he is. Lately, Teofimo Lopez is signed to Bob. Yep. I'm pretty sure. I'll look it up and I'll confirm with you. Tell made $1 million, but someone took 3% before he even saw the W. So 3% of 400K. Bro, imagine, bro. For about that, then you have mandatories, and not only that, you have to pay fees when you become a contender and all that for your mandatories, and you have to keep paying them over and over after every fight. And that's not for all the belts. That's 3% belts each. I hope I can find it. It was a great comment by we're doing all the research here, guys. Let me see. What's his name? ESPN. Look, that's Tim Witherspoon's son. The one that fought what's it called? Larry Holmes. That's his son. He has a gym nearby me. I think it's ESPN Ringside, if I'm not mistaken. Where is it? I'm pretty sure. I think it's this right here. Oh, it's not this right here? No, it's not. We gotta show. No. Damn, where is it? They post a lot. I'm almost 100% sure it's on this. It's on this channel. Or Errol Spence. They agreed. Is it ESPN Ringside? I'm pretty sure it is. 1 second, lady. This is it right here. I have to take his word for Jamel Herring, right? The guy that fought Shakur Stevenson. But you know how Newark does. Anyways, Jamel Herring says, and that's 3% for each title. I see why Floyd only fought for one belt majority of his career. My man Floyd will win a title and be like, I'm out of here. Long story short, undisputed is a pricey title. And I know you want your legacy to stand out, but you know how much money that is in the long run? And then, so what I did, and I'll show you guys, I was doing my little research. I'm like, is Jamel Herring right about what he said about Floyd Mayweather? Look at Mayweather's career and the titles that he has fought for. He didn't care about, he never became undisputed, if I'm not mistaken. For 3 titles here, for 3 titles here, for 2 titles. And this guy was at the top of the division where he could have went for undisputed if he wanted to. Canelo, 2 titles. Okay, so back in 2013, 1 title, 2 titles. WBC, 1 title. Back in 2010. 2009. The last time he fought for 3 titles after that or before that was 2006. IBF right here as well too. That man, with the career and the record that he has, he could have been fighting for all the titles more frequently, right? I think that's a fair assessment. He was trying to get paid. When he says he was TBE, what does he say? I don't mean TBE as like the best fighter of all time, but the best to ever do it as far as, you know, making money on hitting and not getting hit and leaving with all my faculties. Teo is his own Teo made $1 million. Yep. Bro, I just woke up. I walked into a comeback. I walked into a comeback I didn't want to hear. What do you mean by that, Hito? What do you mean by that? And it says message retracted. What did you say earlier? I don't know why. Can you resend it, Hito? I don't know what you said. On my screen, it says message retracted. I thought the lineal was free and every alphabet body charged the 3%. To Jamel. I would have to do more research, but and that's 3% for each title. I see why Floyd only fought for 1 belt majority of his career. Long story short, undisputed is a pricey title. Let's see what else people have to say. He has a lot of Floyd didn't care to unify the crown after he was a lineal champ at 147. Everything else was big money fights. But why though? Where does the money go, brother? That's the $1 million question. Let's see. TBE is always a blueprint. Boxing is so broken. Absolutely. That's a beautiful way to put it. While boxers need handsomely paying, boxing should be about sporting successes and accolades. These guys, where's the money going to? Can they at least account for where the money's going to? That's the $1 million question. Where is it? Just had it. Can we get some audio here?
To the organizations, I mean, we got to know where this money going to. I mean, a lot of times they get, man, you got Canelo
and it wasn't a shot to Canelo or to Joshua.
And Joshua and all these guys.
I didn't want to hear the comeback to the comment I made. Oh man, nah, send it again. I'll take it easy.
You know, making $50 million.
I'm sure they have nothing crazy to say.
And these bills getting 3% of that. Where's it going to?
$1 million question. I would love to know. You ever wonder? We're gonna have a little fun today. You ever wonder? I'm spilling coffee over here. You ever wonder where your tax money's going to? Like, where is it actually going to? Yeah, you see roads being built and stuff like that, but like, where is it? They're making so much money and the country's still in debt. Where is our money really going to? I got to be careful because we're on, you know, on the platform that might not like what we're saying. Where is our money going to? And I'm not even making millions or half of that or half of that. Imagine if you're making $1 million and you're getting charged 3% just because you have the belt. Just because you're the best, you're being penalized.
How's it helping the fighters out?
How now? If I see my money going to, you know, regional events where they're taking care of their fighters, they're giving it to some gyms that are less fortunate, that don't have money. Okay, then I understand.
What are they doing with it?
He was pissed off. It's not going to not. It's definitely not, because bridges are breaking over here. Hito, like, what's going on? Hito, send me the message again. what you had to say. What's going on? And the funny thing is, this doesn't tell the whole story. Look, it wasn't like he was asked a question. He had a heavy heart because look at him walking around. Let me skip over a little.
We getting 3.
There it is. Hold on. Nobody asked Errol Spence anything. Nobody said, hey, Errol Spence, what do you think about the belts? And why didn't Terrence Crawford speak up as well, too? I have a couple conspiracies. Second, but. Errol Spence out of nowhere grabs a mic.
Turn my mic back on.
Here, turn my mic back on. Errol Spence says, out of nowhere, Crawford is looking around like, what's going on here? This might get copyright struck, but that's okay.
Turn my mic back. And we got to know where, I mean.
Out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. Out of thin air. My man, Errol Spence, had this to say.
We getting 3% to these organizations.
That's a little. So, it came out of nowhere.
I mean, we got to know where this money going to. I mean, a lot of times.
It's a nice belt. I'd rather not have it if they're charging me 3%.
They getting, man, you got Canelo and Josh.
This will be my next short, so thank you, Hito. You ever hate saying thank you to certain friends?
And all these guys,
that one friend,
making $50 million, and these belts getting 3% of that. Where's
3% of that, ladies?
Where's it going to? How's it helping the fighters out? What are they doing with it?
Out of nowhere. And maybe that guy's part of the WBC because he doesn't look too happy. Look at Crawford. Oh, man, I can't zoom in, right? Crawford, any thoughts? I need a cricket GIF changing screen. Crawford, any thoughts? No, you don't want to say anything? That happened literally out of nowhere. And I love to hear, so they're both good people. Let me see. Bomac literally looking for the fried fish. Crawford didn't have anything to say. Now my question to you guys is, does Errol Spence have to win by knockout? If it's close, does he have a chance to win by decision? My question to you guys, listen, I think he shot himself in the foot. Was it the right time to do that? It depends. It's not going to 95 in Philly, that's for sure. Blowing up people across the third world, read the Jakarta Method or Manufacturing. I need to read that, bro. I haven't read Manufacturing Consent. And one of my favorite movies, Good Will Hunting, in a clip mentioned that. So that book's been around for a while. So I had to homie was nervous. He knew after that comment, he got to win by KO. It sounded like his voice was a little bit hesitant, right? Like he's like, I don't know if I should do this or not. He was he sounded a little bit nervous if I had to share my thoughts. If I had to guess, I would say he was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Freak it. Let's go for it. Let's send it. Now when that fight happens, July 29th, Errol Spence is going to potentially have to win by a wide margin. Why do I say that? Look at Teofimo Lopez and all the stuff he's been saying about Top Rank and boxing. There was only one judge that got it right, and he had a 117-111. Where's the other two score? Let's see if I could. This is Boxing Scene that had a 117-111. But can we find judges nearly got it wrong? I clicked on this before. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Teofimo Lopez, 115-113. 115-113 when he dominated 117-111. So you could say only one judge got it right. And this is Teofimo dominating. Let's say Errol Spence has a similar performance that Teofimo had. After all that he said, it could get dark. The membership for 18 months. It's been almost 2 years. Farquhar's in the chat. Let's go. 6 months. I'm gonna make a new a 2-year membership icon, just for people like you, Beta, that have been supporting crazy. If you have any ideas, you're the first one that I'll listen to. So let me know. I got the email Paper Champ in the building. Let's go. Means a lot, man. I'm just having let's talk a little more boxing before we get out of here. We're about to. But a couple of thoughts. This is almost like a member chat as far as like what I'm about to say. But yeah, Errol Spence, if I had to say, if it's close, they're going to give the nod to Terrence Crawford, right? That's how I feel about it. But then again, I felt about that with Haney versus Lomachenko. I said if Lomachenko makes it close, they're going to give it to him. He's the company guy. He's under top rank. And they did the complete opposite. So boxing has thrown us curveballs. We'll see what happens with Spence and Crawford, but we're about to get out of here soon. But I would like to say, firstly, Hito, seeing what the shorts are doing on TikTok and Instagram, you were right. And I want to one more time do it like Call of Duty, going platinum next. Ooh, do we do like some kind of platinum icon of? Should I do just a belt, or do you like the glove, or give me an idea, and I'll try to make it happen. Let me know, and I'll let the designer that made those gloves come up with something, because I love how he came out with the gloves. One more thing, Hito, you were right. The shorts is where I need to go, because I do spend a lot of time when I do videos, and I'm gonna still try to do videos, but I'm gonna try to hammer the shorts because you mentioned it, a friend of mine mentioned it, another member mentioned it. Of yo, you keep coming on my coming onto my For You page on TikTok, on Instagram. I'm seeing you everywhere. I don't think you understand how visible you're becoming online, even if you don't see it. And I was like, listen, you might have a point. Because I have like people like my father-in-law saying, look, I see you on social media all the time. So all that to say, Ito, you were right. I should have listened earlier. I feel like the son that's like, Dad, you were right. I think you were right. So I'm gonna be focusing on that, and I think that's gonna take us to the next level. And then that focus on just shorts and live streams. Do that a bunch. And also too, one more thing before I gotta keep coming up with member streams, because as far as monetarily, what I realized is like the members that support, that reflects, as crazy as it sounds, I don't mind sharing like this public information. I could delete it later, if anything. But the people that become members, that's a monthly thing. That really helps, like as far as like the YouTube checks and the money that comes in, because majority of it is super chats and members. So I'm dreaming a little bit big, but if I could get to 100 members one day, like, now we're talking, right? Now I could be like, yo, job. I didn't want to do the actual, but you know what I mean? Like, so I need to keep giving incentives and things to get to there. I just wanted to share that real quick. It should be Mauricio Suleiman's face. Mauricio Suleiman. Let me see if I could, I don't know if I spelled Suleiman. Okay, so I know Suleiman, but it's pronounced like, bro, should I, bro? Like this face right here with the W. Should I, bro? I wouldn't mind. I mean, hopefully he never sees it. Or something like this. You let me know if you guys like that idea. I could do a 2-year and then a 2-year and 3 months, so I can do other things. That'll be funny. I could do the Mike Perry belt. Perry Platinum belt. Let's see. I'm gonna play your voicemail right now. Where is it? Maybe Mike Perry with a belt. I don't know why. Out of all the pictures, they don't really have good ones. Let's play a voicemail real quick. I'm not gonna show your number. Do better. Let's play this and get out of here. Let's see what Hito had to say, and we'll respond to his voicemail, and then have a good rest of your day. Thank you guys for coming here Monday morning. He says, don't dox me. I'm doing my best. Thank you so much again for becoming a member, Beta. Appreciate you, man. And Beta, appreciate you because you've always gifted members. And I've noticed that sometimes those members say, you know what? I'm going to just become one now. So big credit to you. Gotta give people the flowers when they deserve it. Doesn't happen often when I could give Hito flowers. Anyways.
It's Hito 609.
The man, the myth, the legend.
All right, couple things. Definitely Earl's going to lose this fight, especially because he's going to have to win by knockout now. I will say this. I didn't think Earl...
I think it's going to reflect badly on him. I think swing rounds where it's really close, it's going to go Terrence Crawford. I agree. It's just frustrating, Hito, because it happens over and over again. I felt there wasn't enough outrage for Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor with the bad scorecards. It's like people didn't really, because the right person got the decision, people didn't have an uproar. The Dave Moretti and the Chris Lee thing, we should really like sign petitions and, you know, not allow, I'm sorry, but a guy that's 70-something years old to be calling live fights, the most meaningful fights in boxing, right? They might be just a little bit too old to do so.
Who was going to win in the first place? For me, I think Terrence got a little bit more dog in him.
I mean, Terrence Crawford is not jumping out of Ferraris, acting reckless and still alive. No, Terrence Crawford does. Errol Spence actually mentioned Terrence Crawford, and what Errol Spence had to say about Crawford is one of those fighters that when he gets hit, even if he maybe gets hurt, he responds like you said, like a dog. Like he actually wants to like go after you when he gets hit hard. If you hit him with a big punch, he wants to punish you back even more. He's one of those type of guys. There's two types of fighters. Some of them that shell up and try to get away. That's not Crawford. He wants to come after you even more if you hit him with a good shot.
I have to go for that person. I still go back to that clip where Terrence is going against the other dude with the messed up teeth. I can't think of his name right now, but they asked him, "Is he up? Is he up?" Just seeing that, like that short right there of like Terrence being like, "Oh, okay, I gotta go turn up and knock him out." Fire for me. So definitely going Crawford.
Interesting that you're going Crawford. That might be the smart play to go with because Crawford being able to switch stances and him able to box well. They both fought Sean Porter. You can argue who did better, right? I think it's pretty easy to say Crawford, but the other argument is that Spence kind of, took a lot out of him for whatever that's worth. But anyways, let's continue.
Second hot take of mine.
Second hot take. Let's hear it.
I think Canelo is the face of boxing.
I agree.
But I think he's also probably the most boring face of boxing ever.
That's a bold. No wonder you said hot take. Interesting. Let's hear it.
I know his pay-per-views. They get.
I might make a belt that says MDC, the MDC belt. That might be instead of WBC. Let's do MDC. And I don't take 3% beta.
Like
at least I hope I don't.
There he gets 500,000, 300,000, all that stuff. But that's like because he's Mexican. That's like 3 quinceañeras. You know what I mean? Like he's boring, bro. No, like it's like 3,000, all that stuff. But that's like I know his pay-per-views. They get like up there. He gets 500,000, 300,000, all that stuff. But that's
Davis and Garcia did 1.2 million.
That's like because he's Mexican. That's like 3 quinceañeras. You know what I mean? Like
3 quinceañeras. He said, "What's your last 4?"
He's boring, bro. Nobody cares about his horses.
Nobody cares about his horses.
I think his big fights are made by his opponents.
So they're the one that pushes the pace, like Caleb Plant, like Gennady Golovkin. Is that what you're saying? Interesting.
You know what I mean? It's not by him. Kind of boring for the face of boxing. Not saying
yeah, you're not saying him like in general. You're saying for him being the face of boxing, he's kind of a boring fighter. He is. He relies on the counter punching. I'll give you that. The Ryder fight wasn't too. And the Gennady fight wasn't too great. The Caleb Plant fight was a good one. That could be credit to Caleb, kind of like maybe leading it in the beginning. So maybe his opponent did make the fight.
It's a boring overall.
And the Bivol fight wasn't the most interesting either.
Boxer, but as being the face of boxing, I think he's probably the most boring of all time. That's my take.
Wow. That is absolutely a hot take by Hito. I respect it. Listen, maybe we're treading towards that 135 division about them being the face of boxing. Maybe it is Tank if he's able, even though he doesn't care about the titles either, and justifiably so. Thank you for the call, Hito. It always makes for a good show. We're going to keep doing that. I got to keep promoting the Monday morning streams, but it's fun to do that. It's fun to, I look at it as practice as well, too, as funny as it sounds. Just being able to try to carry a show with just you guys and by myself with no co-host or whatever. just getting better at that, right? Eventually we'll have like a co-host or have guest appearances and things of that nature. But just feels good to be here Monday morning, every Monday morning, 10:30. I mean, if anyone with a couple bucks can get them, might as well make it a WBC belt, says Beta. Hito, what's your last four? And Hito says, nah, Beta. Thank you for the call, Hito. That was, listen, he might be, I haven't thought about that. Is he a boring face of boxing? That might be another short that I make. Like, it's time to move on, maybe. Maybe we're at the tail end of his career, and we got to think about others as far as being the face of boxing. He unified a division in a year. The only reason he could do that was because Canelo is king. Beta.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your...
If you want, I could send Hito's number right over at Beta, where you can start spamming him some messages. No, but thank you guys for another episode. Let's work on some shorts. I got a couple ideas. I want to do the if I could quickly before we get out of here. Any ideas on some shorts that I should make that you'd be like, listen, no one made a short on this. Please let me know, Hito or Beta. The next one I want to do is Canelo. We don't want to see you fight anybody else besides David Benavidez. But I need to do like at least 7 shorts a week. That's the plan. And if I don't get to like about that, then I'm not doing my... How many casuals be like, I got to see this Canelo fight? I agree. Hito, you make a strong point. Today you're on one. I'm just playing, Hito. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, bro. Or I wouldn't purposely do that. By mistake, I've had shown numbers. Let me actually just close that window just in case. I'm going to do better at that. That is really bad that I've doxed people before. If you guys have any ideas on some shorts, please let me know on current events. I need to be on my A game, and I ask you guys for help on that. Miller, this happened. I try to read everything that comes out. I'm like subscribed and notifications on like almost every boxing update and MMA, and keeping up with a lot of it is overwhelming. But 3 weeks on a row, I've been on one. Listen, man, Hito, credit to you, man. You're a reason. Beta's a reason. I hate to say this, but the reason why the stream is growing and why we're getting to where we're getting to. Look at the numbers that we're doing with the shorts, with the TikToks and all that. Being recognized. Let's go. Let's go. Got some ideas. So thank you, Hito. I got the receipts. Don't worry, I'll delete them, Hito. Hito, thank you for the support. If you guys have any, let's get the Discord popping too. Like Plugs is always in there sharing some news. You guys have any suggestions or want to talk about anything further where we can have a good back and forth, you know, Discord is a great place to be. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go work on some content. And my next one is going to be the Canelo one, saying, listen, you need to fight Benavidez. No one else. If there's any other shorts ideas, please let me know, because that's what I'm going to work on for the rest of the day. I'm not going to work on videos. I'm like, as far as long form content, which I was doing, shorts is the way to go. Hito was right. They've been killing. So I got to go with the trend, go with the flow, but we'll do this every Monday morning. If you guys have any suggestions on member streams, let me know about that as well too, and I'll work on that. I'm going to get out of here. God bless. Good night. And I'll see you in the next one. Beta, if you need any help with anything, I know you were like stranded, your breaks or whatever. If there's any way we could help, let us know. God bless. Good night. So you said saying that. God bless. Have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys soon. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. Peace.
I'm the best ever. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Yo, bounce guy, go off.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Wilder's in a world of trouble, closing seconds. Can he weather the storm here in the third round?
And the ball to superlative.
Big right hook, lands flush for Cambosos, and that knocks down teofimo Lopez. We have ourselves a fight. Khabib Nurmagomedov gets a triangle choke from up top. Gaethje's out, and the fight is over. The triangle choke for Khabib Nurmagomedov. And Porter gets knocked down. He gets knocked down again. 10th round TKO win. Left uppercut, and then knocks out Leo. It appears he's out cold. The fight is over. It was a counter left uppercut, and just like that, what a left uppercut. I did not see that coming, ladies and gentlemen. I will have to admit, what a fight.
Nice celebration or a 3K video. I don't know, man. To hit 3,000 subscribers in like
right hook to the body for Campbell. Left hook to the body for Garcia. And that knocked down Campbell. It was a left hook to the body. Campbell on the ground. The count is on. Can he make his way up? It appears he can't get up. Campbell on the ground. Trying to stand up. And the fight is over. Ryan Garcia with a 7th round knockdown. What a performance. Guys, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. We're trying to do record numbers today. Ryan Garcia tearing up and crying. What a performance for Ryan Garcia.